Is walking enough exercise? Picture two people. One walks briskly every morning and wonders whether it even counts. The other hasn't walked in months and calls walking just a warm-up. So who's right? By recent estimates, nearly 1 in 2 Indian adults no longer moves enough to meet basic health targets. A share that's more than doubled since the year 2000, even as diabetes and heart disease climb. Today, no fear, just the why. Is walking plain, ordinary walking actually enough? Let's clear up the biggest misconception first, that walking is somehow lesser exercise. The science says the opposite. When you walk briskly, fast enough that you can still talk, but not quite sing, you're doing genuine moderate-intensity aerobic exercise, the kind health guidelines are built around. People who walk regularly are, in large studies, meaningfully less likely to die early than people who barely move, by something like 20 to 30%. Their blood pressure runs lower, their blood sugar is handled better, their mood and sleep improve. An honest caveat, most of this comes from observational studies, a strong, consistent link, not absolute proof. But for most people, walking isn't the warm-up. It's the main event. So what's actually happening when you walk? As you pick up the pace, the big muscles in your legs start taking up glucose from your bloodstream to burn for fuel. And they do this with much less dependence on insulin. That's exactly why walking is so good for blood sugar. Your heart beats faster and harder, so over weeks it becomes a stronger, more efficient pump, and your resting heart rate drifts down. Blood flow stimulates the healthy function of the artery lining, nudging blood pressure lower. Your body gets better at clearing fat from the blood after meals. And in your brain, walking increases several chemicals associated with improved mood and sharper memory. Repeated most days, it compounds into real, measurable protection. Now the part too few people are told. The benefits don't rise in a straight line, they're front-loaded. The biggest jump in protection comes when someone who barely moves starts moving at all. Going from almost nothing to even 20 or 30 minutes a day buys the largest share of the benefit. After that, more still helps, but each extra mile adds a little less than the one before. So you don't have to become an athlete to get most of what walking offers. Which brings us to the number stuck in everyone's head, 10,000 steps. It didn't come from a laboratory. In 1965, a Japanese company launched one of the first step counters and called it the manpoke, the 10,000 step meter. It was, in short, a marketing slogan. Now, and this matters, modern research does support counting steps. But the magic isn't at 10,000. In large studies, the risk of dying early drops steeply as people go from very few steps up to around 7,000 or 8,000 a day. Then the curve mostly flattens. For older adults, it levels off even earlier. And even 2,500 to 4,000 steps clearly beats being truly sedentary. So if 10,000 motivates you, keep going. But for most people, 7,000 is plenty. And here's something India has known for generations. After dinner, many families take a slow loop around the lane. In some regions, it even has a name, Shatpavali, the 100 steps. The grandmothers were right. A short walk soon after a meal, even 10 or 15 minutes, helps reduce the spike in blood sugar that follows eating, because those working muscles soak up the glucose before it can pile up in the blood. For a country carrying one of the heaviest diabetes burdens on Earth, more than 100 million people, that humble after-meal stroll is quietly powerful medicine. The trouble is we're walking less and less just when we need it most. Now for the catch that trips people up. Not all walking is equal, and the difference is pace. A slow amble is still better than sitting. But the real reward for your heart and metabolism switches on when the walk is brisk. Roughly 100 steps a minute, a pace where you could talk but not comfortably sing. Step for step, faster walkers tend to do better than strollers, with lower rates of heart disease and early death. The key thing, pace adds to your step count, it doesn't replace it. So for at least part of your walk, walk like you're a little bit late. So let's turn this into a target you can use. The global guidelines ask for about 150 minutes of brisk activity a week, really just 30 minutes on most days. And it doesn't have to be in one block. 3 brisk 10-minute walks count the same as one 30-minute walk. If you'd rather count steps, aim for the 7,000 to 8,000 range with a good chunk of it brisk. And whatever your starting point, start there, even 5 minutes, building up a little each week. So who has the most to gain? Almost everyone, but a few groups especially. Anyone with a desk job and a long seated day. Anyone with prediabetes, diabetes, high blood pressure, or a strong family history of heart disease. For them, regular brisk walking is about as close to a prescription as movement gets. Older adults for whom walking helps protect independence, balance, and the brain. And women in India in particular, who, for reasons of safety, time, and old unspoken rules about leisure, are the least active group of all and stand to gain the most the moment they get to move. If you see yourself there, that's not a worry. It's an open door. And that's the spirit of this channel, no fear, just the why. The honest answer to is walking enough isn't a guilt trip, it's a relief. The most powerful thing most people can do for their health needs no gym, no equipment, and no suffering. It's already in your legs, you just have to keep showing up. And this is the honest heart of the whole video. Whether walking is enough depends on what you're asking it to do. For your heart, your blood sugar, your mood, and your odds of a long life, walking is a brilliant foundation. It's enough for your aerobic health. But it isn't the whole exercise prescription. There's one important thing it largely can't do: rebuild the muscle we slowly lose as we age. From around our 30s, we shed a little muscle every decade, and it speeds up in later life, and walking, being gentle and repetitive, doesn't ask enough of our muscles to hold that line. That matters because muscle is what keeps us strong, steady on our feet, and metabolically healthy. This is why every major guideline pairs aerobic activity with the one thing walking skips: working your muscles against some resistance, at least twice a week. And for older adults, a third piece, a little balance practice to guard against falls. Picture walking as the foundation of a house. Essential, the thing everything is built on. But a foundation on its own isn't yet the whole house. So how do you build the rest of the house without it taking over your life? Keep walking as your base briskly and most days, with a few after-meal strolls for your blood sugar. Then add 2 short strength sessions a week, no gym needed. Standing up and sitting down from a chair a few times. Push-ups against a wall, a few squats. Taking the stairs instead of the lift trains your legs and lungs at once. Break up long stretches of sitting, stand and move for a couple of minutes every half hour. And when you can, choose somewhere with cleaner air and a safer hour over rush hour traffic. It's about adding one small strength habit to the walking you already do. Let's clear up the worries that hold people back. Does it have to be one long walk? Short bouts add up. Won't all this walking wear out my knees? For most people, the opposite is true. Regular walking is associated with healthier joints, and inactivity is often worse for them than gentle movement. I walk every day and the weight isn't budging. That's expected for weight. What's on your plate matters more than the miles on your feet. Walking's real gift is everything else it does for you. And do I need to reach peak fitness? Only if that's your goal. That takes faster, harder efforts, but it's fine-tuning, not the foundation. It was never really walking versus the gym. It's walking versus the sofa, and walking wins that one every time. So is walking enough exercise? Here's the honest, one-line answer. For most of what truly matters, your heart, your blood sugar, your mind, and your years, yes, walking is genuinely enough, and you do not need 10,000 steps to get there. To make it complete, add a little strength training twice a week, and some gentle balance work as you get older. Want all of this on one simple page: the brisk pace test, a realistic step target, the after-meal walk trick, and a no-gym strength routine for home. Comment the word honest, and we'll send you our free walking cheat sheet. If this took the guilt out of getting healthier and handed you something you can start today, subscribe, and send it to the person who keeps insisting walking doesn't count. Then go and take a walk. We make health make sense. One important note: this is general information, not medical advice, and not a personal exercise prescription. If you have heart disease, are very out of shape, are pregnant, or have problems with your joints or your balance, talk to your doctor before you start or step things up and build up gently. And if walking ever brings on chest pain, severe breathlessness, dizziness, or fainting, stop and seek medical attention. The goal here was never to push through pain. It's simply to move a little more than you did yesterday.